I want to talk to you a little bit about the technical side of custody today. This is sort of my bread and butter. This is my business. I've literally consulted with and met in person with hundreds, and if we're talking about consulting and coaching, thousands of people. And this is the nasty side of Bitcoin. This is the nasty side of crypto. Crypto is even, whatever about Bitcoin, crypto's 10 times worse. But I'll just give you an example. I'm on the way up to the office to meet with a client. It'll be the 4th time I've met him this week. And it's just trying to solve technical problems. And it's always silly stuff. Softwares are just constantly updating. The crypto software and hardware is so clunky. It's, for want of a better word, it's just crap. And it's it's so ironic that some people have such huge portions of their net worth stored in this thing, in this clunky, like people have a ledger device at home with 50,000 quid on it. To me, that's absolute insanity. Some people are like that. Maybe they have 50 grand under their mattress as well. But to the majority of the world, it's just not sensible, and it's too risky, and you couldn't sleep at night. And so my bread and butter is solving these technical problems. And this week I've just been so busy with it. Like last night my friend called over, we were watching a match, and then suddenly I get a call, and then I'm on a Zoom call for an hour trying to fix a problem. It's you know, your average Joe Soap who's just trying to self-custody and watch a few Bitcoin videos, he hasn't a bloody hope in hell once he's got 30, 40, 50, 60 grand and error messages start popping up and things aren't syncing or synchronizing, or all the stuff that goes wrong. It's just a bloody nightmare. And I'll be fully honest, even for me last night, I couldn't solve the problem. Lucky enough, I have a technical team of absolute IT experts that I can lean on and get instant help. Even though I've been doing this for 4 years as a job and working at it every single day, okay, and sometimes all day, there's still stuff pops up that I've never seen before and I don't know how to solve it. And my advice to anyone who's in this space, a couple little points to this video. One, don't be a lone wolf, all right? There's too much can go wrong. If you're just messing around and you've got a few meme coins, you've got 500 quid in it in Revolut, have at it, okay? Do what you want. But if you're building a plan, if you understand the enormity of Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is your ticket to early retirement, ticket to retiring your family early, not just you, if you get it right, okay? Don't try and be a lone wolf. Just too much goes wrong. Everything that I've done in my life has been leveraging networks. That means that, like, I'll give you an example. I'm going swimming after this session. Wasn't meant to be working today, but I have to meet this client, try and fix this problem for the 4th time this week. But after that, I'm going swimming. And I've told you this story before, but I don't swim on my own. I swim in a swim club. What type of swim club? Well, I used to train in a triathlon club. And nothing against triathletes, okay? But the standard of swimming in triathlon, because you have to swim, cycle and run, you can't be an expert at all of them, so the standard wouldn't be as high. So when I trained with the triathlon club, I was one of the strongest swimmers, sometimes the strongest swimmer in the lane. And that wasn't good for me. I need to be in with people who are better than me. I need to be in a network that's ahead of me. And that's why now I swim with a masters club, because there's a lot of swimmers who are way ahead of me, so I have to work much harder to get to their level, and I get so much more out of the training. So your network determines your net worth, they say, or your network that you train with determines how well you're going to develop at that sport, hobby, whatever it is, any application. When it comes to trying to retire early on Bitcoin, get into networks. This is what I done when I first joined the space. I joined as many networks as I could. I paid a lot of money to get around, you know, current influencers, Andreas Antonopoulos for one, Seyfedina Moose for another, I can't even remember half names, Simon Dixon. You know, I wanted to get into their networks and paid to be around them so that I could leverage their knowledge and the knowledge of their community, who obviously, when it's a paid community, it's going to be a much higher standard than a free community. And that's just the way it is, okay? When someone gives you a nutrition plan on the internet and you download it for free, 99% chance you do nothing with it and it doesn't change your life. When you go and pay a nutritionist, okay, 1,000 quid for a nutrition plan, it probably has all the same foods on it, but guess what? you'd probably do it because they give you the accountability of the community. You're in a community of people. So it's so important. Get into communities. Don't try and do this on your own, because problems will come up in the future that you don't know how to solve. And then you'll be on the internet Googling things. And guess what you'll find? Malware information. And guess what will happen? You'll lose your Bitcoin, because that happens. People have a problem, they don't get the correct solution, and so many things just go wrong. It's a bloody nightmare, including people dying. I've had so many people go and die, and their family contacts me, and there's nothing we can do. That's exactly why I do what I do. Any of our clients are set up in a way they can die, they can do what they want, they can give away their seed phrase, they can hand it to a cyber criminal, and they still can't lose their Bitcoin. Okay, it's the only way to hold it. That's sort of off point. I'm talking about join a community, get into communities, get into paid communities, find people who are doing what you're doing so you can leverage their help, so you can build trust, build relationships within the space. And that's what community is. That's the value of community. That's how you leverage community. That's the secret to how I done so well in business. Is, I'll tell you a quick story. In school, I struggled in communities because I was no good at any of the traditional sports, team sports. Fitness didn't interest me. And it's not that it didn't interest me, I had really bad asthma as a kid, so I couldn't really participate. And so I was never in these communities, and I was always, maybe not jealous, but like, you know, I felt I was missing out on all the camaraderie in the football teams and everything. You know, the crack that people would have on the same teams. So when I started to build my business, let's say my fitness business, and I'd look around the room, I'm like, I'm in control of this community, and I dictate how this community works, and I'm going to structure this community in such a way that everyone feels valued and everyone has value to give, because everyone does. So it's not just, oh, Mary is ripped, look how fit and skinny Mary is, she's the best, let's all say Mary. Okay, because Mary has her own struggles. So it was about structuring the community in such a way that everyone's felt valued. And I actually had a meeting 2 days ago with a girl who came to my gym, runs a fitness business now with a couple of businesses. She just wanted to meet me to get some advice on how to optimize the business. And she said she came to my place 3 times. She said, I've been to thousands of gyms, because she's into fitness and she actually runs a fitness business now. And she says, I was only at your place, Dinny, about 3 or 4 times. But the impression it left on me was like no other gym I was ever in. After being in thousands of gyms, it was never anything like that. And that is solely because of the way I structured and built my community. Okay? And that's a bottoms, and that's what I thought. This starts at the top. You have to live this, and you have to make sure your trainers live this and understand this, and then it filters down, and then it just becomes the community norm. It just becomes, you know, how the community operates. But this is the value of communities and being in good communities. It's absolutely invaluable, and especially in Bitcoin and crypto, because there's so much technical things that are going to stump you in the future. You think everything is rosy and hunky-dory, and guys, some of the jobs, like the job with the guy I'm going up to now to try and fix for the 4th time this week, the amount of hours I've put into this is something that, if technology goes smooth, would take me 3 minutes to do. 3 minutes. So these aren't simple, these are simple things that we think are hunky-dory until technology gives you a massive kick in the balls. And it does it, because this is my bread and butter. Every day I'm just dealing with this stuff. And I can tell you, I see the value in an ETF. I see the value in going, screw this, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to buy the ETF and put it into my pension. There's certainly a lot of value in that, and I wouldn't criticize anyone to do it. The only problem is we can't do it in Ireland. With our multi-sig approach though, it takes the risk out of it that the client can't screw it up. No matter what the client does, they can't actually even give their Bitcoin away by accident or through theft or anything. And that's why I'm not trying to sell you that, because I'm too busy to sell it to you at the minute with all our existing clients setting their accounts up. But it's the only way, and in the future I will be encouraging everyone to get into it. And some people think I'm immune to it. I couldn't be socially engineered. Well, the owners of Bybit, which is one of the biggest exchanges on the planet, were socially engineered. Okay, and that hack happened. All right, so don't think you're smarter than these people. You're not. That's, you know, and I shouldn't say you. This is how I live my life. I don't assume I'm smarter. If something can happen to someone else, I know damn well it can happen to me. And many of the hacks that happen in Bitcoin, and many of the people who ring me, I know 110% that if I hadn't spent thousands of hours studying this thing and thousands of euros, tens of thousands, on courses, okay, and all the technical stuff I've studied, it would 100% happen to me. Absolutely 100%. If I was on YouTube trying to figure this out, I would definitely make those mistakes. And that's why it's so important to realize this. Everyone is at risk, and that's why the most valuable thing you can do is get into communities of like-minded people, because you're going to see the problems they have, and you're going to learn from the problems they're going through, so you don't have to learn from them. And when you have a problem, it's not just you trying to solve it, because you've networked, you've built value in the community. And now, for instance, in our Retire Early Club, I think we've got about 400 people. You've 400 people to help you solve that problem, or who may have gone through it before. And that's the absolute value in community. And whether we're talking about Bitcoin, or fitness, or swimming, or nutrition, or business, or anything else, community is the secret. And for a lot of my life, I was a lone wolf in business. Last little story. I didn't want to network with my competition. I didn't want to even speak to them to get my secrets. How big did my business grow? Not so big at all, Dinny. Struggled. It was only when I started to network with other people who were doing the exact same thing I was doing, and helping them and creating value for them, that they created value for me. And my granddad, who I never met, but one of his sayings my dad tells me he always said was, 2 heads are better than 1, even if they're sheep's heads. And that's what you're leveraging with community. 2 heads, 4 heads, 1,000 heads. And that's the value of it. That's today's little video. Just a video in. Technical things are going to come along. Help yourself get around them by being part of a community. There's no use waiting until they happen and then trying to, find someone to fix them, because how do you know if you can trust that person? You haven't been in their community for the last year or 2 years or 6 months or whatever it takes. Be ahead of the curve. You have an opportunity to retire early by using Bitcoin. It's the highest performing asset for the last 15 years. Not financial advice, nothing you hear here is, but I believe it's going to be the highest performing asset for the next 15 years. I think that's the most obvious thing in the world of finance right now. In the whole time I've been in Bitcoin, there's never been a more bullish time. There's never been a time with so much good news. And that's why I'm fully detached from the price, and I always invest into the fundamentals. It's what I did when I first got serious about Bitcoin. Is I just studied the fundamentals. I was like, okay, yeah, fundamentals are really strong, price action's irrelevant. And that's the same thing I invest by today. And the fundamentals are like probably 100 times stronger or 1,000 times stronger. So the decision is much easier today, and it's much more obvious today. And that's the beauty. That's why you shouldn't, as Raoul Pal says, don't fuck this up. You really have an opportunity. We all have such a huge opportunity here, and some people try to pick up pennies in front of a steamroller, or they're too cheap to get rich, or they won't invest in education, or they won't invest in the community, or they just want to be a lone wolf, and it just bites them in the ass. And I won't deal with people. When people come to me with technical problems, I won't take it on, because I don't know the history of it. So when a lot of people, unfortunately, if they're not my clients and they come with X, Y, or Z problem, I won't touch it. Okay, because I don't want liability. I don't know what's in that or what's gone on before that, before I touch it. So the easiest thing for me to do is say, no, sorry, I can't help you. And then they say, Dinny, do you know anyone who can help me? And my answer is, no, I don't. Because there's no one I trust that I know that I can give on to you. You Google it and all you get is scam companies, and it's just a bloody minefield. And that's why I'm so passionate about just trying to convince people, get into communities, invest into your education, the technical. Like, a lot of people will study and watch Bitcoin videos till the cows come home. So do you understand the macro? Do you understand the fundamentals? Do you understand why they must own Bitcoin? But they slip up on the technical, and they think the technical side is easy. I can tell you now, from working in the space for 4 years, the technical side is not easy. Okay? And every week, not every week, but very common, I'm stumped with things that have never come up before. And it's always with the same softwares that you think, I've seen it all, Dinny. It's been 4 years working on this now. And lo and behold, stuff comes up, browsers change, and it just creates new problems. And yeah, it's really been frustrating me this week. And I just think, like, on the plus side though, the client that I'm going to meet, like, basically has his retirement sorted by just understanding the fundamentals, trusting our coaching, actioning it, and now has his early retirement absolutely sorted, even though he hasn't a clue technically how to operate or use anything. But the way we set it up, we can sort of just make it bulletproof, so no matter what he does or doesn't do, it can't go wrong. So yeah, have a super day, guys. Anyway, I'm nearly at the office, so I'm going to hop off here, and I'm going to a bit of recce later. So that's going to be nice to calm down, because it's been a technically frustrating week, let me just say. And if I can get this, I was on a call this morning Again, all tech stuff. Got the problem fixed over Zoom, and if I just get this one fixed, that's everything sorted this week, and I'll be a happy man. And I'm confident we can fix this problem now today. It's a fourth meeting this week to do it. So I was confident the other times, but this morning I'm pretty confident. I'll put it on my Instagram story whether we're game or not. Well, here we go. Gonna have this problem fixed in about 30 minutes. Guys, Dinny out. Have a good day. Thanks for being here. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Try and push my content out there so more and more people see it. And become aware of Bitcoin, become aware of how to use it, become aware of the risks of using it, and find out a little bit about Bitcoin with Dinny. If you want our help, you're interested in a community, check out the Retire Early Club by visiting www.bitcoinwithdinny.com. That's the only way that you can work with us. You can't do it if I message you on social media. They're just scams. You've got to ignore that. There's so much scams in this space, so much social engineering. People think they're talking to me for 6 months. I don't talk to anyone. I talk to you here because I'm talking to many. I don't have time to be texting anybody. If you've seen my life, I'm very busy. I have a lot of hobbies. I have a puppy to rear and train. So I definitely don't have time to be individually messaging people. So beware if you think you're messaging me on a social media and I reached out originally to start the conversation. It's not me, guys. Have a super day. Dinny out. And we're off.